Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Zanzal, coach, ordained minister, grandma, mama of four, and a queer woman married to my lovely, gorgeous wife after I came out later in life. This is Coming Out and Beyond LGBTQIA Plus Stories, a podcast for everyone exploring identity, queerness, and what it means to live more truthfully, no matter our age or stage. We share stories of coming out, starting over, resiliency, how to navigate relationships, grief, joy, and building lives that actually fit us as human beings. No labels required, just curiosity, courage, and a little faith in this journey. Welcome. Let's dive in. Hi, this is Anne-Marie Zanzal, and welcome back to another episode of Coming Out and Beyond. And I have a very special person here with me today, Kennedy Ann Scott. So let me tell you about Kennedy. Kennedy Ann Scott is the stage name of Benjamin Slinkard. Benjamin is a blue ribbon teacher and has been awarded Teacher of the Year for his service as the educator for Metro Public Schools. He has been recognized by the national community as a top performer and claims residency at the Lipstick Lounge. He has been featured in Rolling Stone magazine and the New York Times. Benjamin resides in Nashville, Tennessee, and is an advocate for children and members of the LGBTQIA plus community. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to be here.
Well, you're my first, you know.
Oh, really?
Yes, my first drag queen.
Oh my God. I love popping cherries.
Thank goodness. So Ben has, along with four other drag queens, correct?
Well, there's six of us total.
Six drag queens. There is a book coming out very soon, and it is called No Tea, No Shade.
Life as a drag queen.
And we want to talk about that amazing book that's coming out soon and Ben's story, Kennedy Ann's story in that. But first, every time I have someone on the show for the first time, I ask them to tell me their coming out story.
Ooh.
So
okay.
tell me yours.
Okay. Well, hello world. Again, Anne-Marie, thanks for having me on
welcome.
here. So my coming out story, I always say it was not one of those love Simon moments.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very hard time coming out. I came out when I was 17. I think for me, I was always labeled that gay kid, even from a young age. Mm-hmm. Kids would always be like, oh, you're a girl. Oh, you're gay. You're this, you're this.
Yeah, your story of like running to play with the dresses. We had when my youngest son was in preschool, there was a little boy that would always run to the dresses to play with them. And honestly, his parents are great allies, but his dad would always go, makes the father proud. He looks like G.I. Joe too, the dads. But they're amazing allies.
Okay,
they love
good.
their children.
I love that though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with anything in life, you have to laugh a little bit at everything because if you don't, you're not going to make it. So if there is a little bit of humor, I mean, it is every time like I would race the girls to go to the dress trunk and like move. It was like a Yankee Candle sale. I was like, I got to get to my best sense.
But it's a daisy dress. Right?
Yes, it was this yellow daisy dress. Probably is like, if I looked at it now, I'd be like, ooh.
That's 5-year-old sensibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
it was pretty.
You have to find the humor in everything. Right. Whenever I did come out at 17, officially on my own terms, I kind of came out to some friends at first, and they were kind of like, oh, well, we kind of defended you. We stood up for you instead of just saying, oh my God.
Well, what's interesting is like, you know, I often write articles about what you should do when somebody comes out.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you shouldn't do. You don't make it about yourself.
Exactly. But isn't that kind of like a human characteristic sometimes is like, even when someone gets sick or someone goes through something, every friend will, not always, but sometimes just be like, oh my gosh. Like when someone says, I have cancer, it's the opposite person that starts crying. And you're like, wait a second.
Wait, I have cancer.
Yes.
Not you.
Exactly. Or, you know, it's kind of like, oh, I just broke up with this person. And your friends are kind of like, well, I went through this, instead of just saying, what do you need? But I think with my friends at that time, it was kind of like they kind of felt betrayed in a way, is because they had like everyone had come and like in high school and made fun of me for it. They were like calling me that way before I even wanted people to call me that, or I was confident in that. They kind of felt like, oh, well, you didn't why'd you make us, or why did you let us stick up for you if
But you weren't ready.
No, I wasn't ready.
Right.
But I think I sometimes try to put the shoe on the other foot and just kind of think, what are they thinking sometimes? So I don't know exactly why they weren't just like, woo, we're ready.
Yeah.
It was more of like that. But then when I did go home for my break, because I was in college at this time, I went and I just kind of sat down while my mom was making food for Thanksgiving. And I was just kind of like, here's who I am. And it didn't go over well.
Yeah, it didn't. Well, that's one thing. Don't come out. Don't come out at a family holiday.
Exactly. Noted.
No, don't come out at a family.
No.
So your mom wasn't very accepting.
Not at first. She's now more accepting than what she was.
Even from the book?
Well, yes. I would say even in this last year, because technically I finished writing last summer. So relationship has changed a little bit more since then. I know it's all about giving grace to people and all that in our long journey. But I feel like we are okay. We're in that spot now where we are okay. And I'm wondering what she's going to think of whenever the book is out there and for her to read my feelings, because we've never really talked about how I felt. I just kind of wrote it all out.
Yeah. It was like as a mom, it was really heartbreaking for me to read because she just didn't do well.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like one of those things where you might mess up one or two things.
Yeah.
But that she just was like, what, like writing you a letter of why you're not gay.
Yeah.
The only person who can name your sexuality is you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think she had it so in her mind that because I was bullied for so long, she was very committed to the storyline that I just believed what other people told me, where people were telling me, and I knew deep inside who I was. I just wasn't ready to verbalize the words at a younger age until I got to that point. And really the turning point where I knew I had to live my life for me. And that was when my grandmother passed away.
Right. And that was around the same time.
Well, that was the week. So yeah, sorry. My grandmother, she passed away the week I started college.
Okay. So then it was 2 months later.
2 months later that.
Well, you know what? We call in the later in life community, we call it a catalyst. So a catalyst can be a person that makes you realize that you're not as straight as you thought you were, but it also can be a life event. So it makes a lot of sense that it was your grandma's death because she was your safe place.
She was my safe place for the whole time I was a child. And the fact that I got to have her in my life through all those adolescent years and those pivotal moments where I really needed someone to even just use as a backboard, really helped me. I feel like if she would have passed before that, I think things could have turned out a lot different. But I'm just glad she was there for me during most.
Well, she gave you a place where you were just loved and totally accepted, and it might have helped in the long run.
I think so too. My thing was when my mom was like, "I talked to your grandmother. She said you were not. She agreed, and I'm like, okay, I think we can all agree that she was on my side. She was playing you safe, so you wouldn't feel bad."
So was she your mom's mom?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then when you told your dad, he was a little better.
He was. It was kind of interesting to see, my mom and I had a very close relationship growing up. My grandmother, my mom, and I and some of my aunts would always do a lot together. I would go to the craft fairs with them. That was my jam. I mean, my dad tried to get me to go hunting one time.
Oh, I could imagine.
I was like in a deer stand for 8 hours and I was like, and there was a deer that was coming up and my dad's like, "There it is, get ready." And I was like, "Oh, I can't see it. I don't want to shoot a deer.
I'm going to kill this
I know."
thing.
So I just pretended I was like, and I pulled the trigger and I was like way off. But
His dad said, "I'm never taking it."
No, it was him. It was me that was really like, "Can we call mom? I'm ready to go home." I tried it.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to the craft fair.
But he was, what I really admired. So you told him you had the first real conversation you ever had with him?
Yeah. I would say that was when I came out to my dad, which I didn't come out to him until 2016. So I think that was our real conversation that we've had. Like my dad and I have had conversations, but we've never had a relationship where we just kind of like sat on a couch and like just talked back and forth. Yeah. There was a couple times that we watched a couple movies together because I was like, we were trying, but we're just two different people.
Right.
And I think my dad had a misconception of me, and I think that I had a misconception of my dad growing up. But it's sometimes one of those things where like what my dad was into was nothing that I was into.
Yeah, you just have different interests.
Yeah, we were. But my baby brother, was very much into a lot of things that my dad was into.
And how's your baby brother? You guys get along?
We get along now. We used to could not even be in the same room together. We're 4 years apart.
Yeah.
And
just the two of you.
Yeah, just the two of us. But we are like night and day. Like he's athletic. I mean, I am athletic, but he's into the sports. He's into hunting, fishing. He's an engineer. He's a good guy. He really is. We just don't always see eye to eye on certain things, politics and some other things, but we have become closer since we've gotten older. I actually got to give a speech and be in his wedding. So that was like, I was like, you want me to give you a speech? Okay, cool. And honey, let me tell you, it slammed. I did a slam dunk on that.
I bet you did.
Oh my gosh, it was good.
Hi, it's Anna and Pete.
And I'm Anne-Marie Zanzal. We are part of the production team of Secure Lesbian Bonds.
You love each other, but lately it feels like you're speaking different emotional languages. Conversations turn into arguments or silence. You feel alone even when you're right next to her.
But you're not broken. You're just stuck in a painful cycle, and there's a way out. Strengthening Love is an online relationship course created specifically for lesbian couples. It blends emotion-focused therapy, trauma-informed tools, and real-world support to help you reconnect without blame or shame.
Inside, you'll learn how to recognize your emotional triggers, communicate with compassion, and rebuild intimacy that lasts. It's flexible, self-paced, and completely affirming of your relationship.
And for less than 2 therapy sessions, you get lifetime access to a full relationship roadmap with worksheets, partner exercises, and guidance from queer women who get it. Start today at healthylesbianrelationships.com.
Because your love deserves to feel safe, seen, and strong again.
I bet you did. I would like you to do a speech at my wedding.
Yeah.
What was really interesting is that, your dad, when I'm reading it, he was trying to connect with you, like telling you about, that girl, she's like you.
Yes.
And I know you joked with him.
Yes.
But it was like an attempt.
It was an attempt.
Yeah.
But I will say on some of his attempts, and not everything is in the book. I guess we could revisit that later, if there's another opportunity. Yes, he was trying to connect with me, but I feel like we would connect to a certain extent. And then he was like, because like when I did come out and I was like, okay, I'm gay, this, and this. And then I'm also a drag queen. He was like, whoa, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So like he would go so far with me, but then he's got to go back. And like even like up until like a couple of years ago, he would be like, got any ladies talking? I'm like, no, what?
Your dad.
I know. But he did at Christmas, this past Christmas, we went on a walk together with my dog. My dog is a little sheepadoodle.
Yeah.
And he can kind of break the tension. Yeah. So we went on a little walk and he, for the first time, was like, you seeing anybody? And I was like, oh, not right now. I'm in between there. I was like, I was hurt, by someone. And he's like, well, if that happens and you'll find someone.
Well, he tried.
He's trying. And I want people to know, like, yes, my parents are trying, but I feel like sometimes there's always a little bit more you could do.
Yes.
And to a certain,
Well, and I just want to mention, you grew up in Missouri.
Yes.
So
yes.
in my working,
in the boonies.
And in my working with people coming out later in life, Missouri and Oklahoma, the homophobia.
Oh.
And the internalized homophobia that people experience.
Yes.
Is really bad in those states. Like I've had women that have been in relationship, other women, for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And they will not leave their husbands. They will not, they want to. They take a couple of steps, and they're often teachers. They take a couple of steps, and then they can't. Because a lot of them are Southern Baptists too. And you were Catholic.
I was Catholic. My dad was Southern Baptist. And then when my mom and him got married, he converted to Catholicism.
Yeah, because he had to. My ex-husband had to convert. I'm probably the same age. No, I'm not the
we'll
same age.
Get you.
You will get you. We'll get you whether you want to be with us or not.
Yes.
You want that lady, you got to convert. So you went off to college.
Yes.
And you discovered Kennedy Ann.
I did.
So tell me.
I did.
And Kennedy Island is the gatekeeper of the lesbians in Nashville.
That's true.
Yes.
I work at the Lipstick Lounge.
Which is a lesbian bar.
It is. Listen, without my lesbians, I'd be nobody.
And she's also she's very well known as a drag queen in Nashville.
Yes.
So you go to college.
So I go to college, and at first I'm kind of like doing the normal college experience, right? I'm living in the dorms. My first freshman year, I had 6 roommates. We were in like a 6-person suite. All of these like really like macho boys. I don't know how I got on this hallway. And I'm just kind of like, hey, here I am, trying to discover myself. It's, I'm going to college, right? I get to invent who I am.
Well, after the hellhole of high school.
Yeah. Right? I made it out.
I mean, we haven't talked about it much, and I don't want to go, well, let's keep talking about college, but Ben was seriously, and even stabbed. And so that, I am so glad you made it out.
I know. And, there was a touch and go for a moment where was I going to be here? And I can't tell you exactly how the events happened that I'm still here, but I know that now looking back, it didn't work. It didn't happen because I needed to be here for what I'm doing now.
So, there's a saying that a gay kid needs one caring adult in their life.
And I had one.
Was that your grandma?
I think it was my grandmother.
And a teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. And one teacher, yes.
And was it a man?
It was a female teacher.
And she just
oh my God, her name, and I'm going to say it, it's Miss Pope. Miss Pope was everything to me. And I met her in high school, and I took every class that she offered. So I would have a class with her every year. She was just that person for me that she knew who I was and she didn't care.
No.
She just knew that there was a light inside of me.
Well, she's one of those teachers that are in high school that when there's no GSL or anything, that just shows up for these kids. Because was she gay herself?
No. She was married. She has kids. She's now a principal.
Oh, good for
she's
her.
amazing. But
she must be so proud of you.
I think so. I've wrote her letters on teacher appreciation. I've sent her some cards a few times. And then Facebook, I've messaged her a few times just to tell her every once in a while, because I feel like those teachers should, even when we're adults, you should reach out to the people that changed your life. Even if it's just, hey, I was thinking of you, because that will mean the world to them. I mean, I've had students who are now in high school who wrote me letters when they were in 7th grade and stuff. And they're like, teacher, thank you for teaching us. Thank you. And it's just something you're like, okay, I did something. I changed a person's mind, or I helped them do something.
I get emails like that sometimes. And I'm like,
I know, it's great. Just to be thought of. My first day of sophomore year, I sat in a seat, and these high school football players, they turned my desk over. And I couldn't it was one of those, back in the day, it was one of those side desks.
Yeah, the side ones that had the left one and the right one.
Exactly. And so
if you were left-handed, you were out of luck.
You were. Times have changed. But they toppled my desk over, and I tried to get up. I got up. I got everything situated. She came in the room, and she was like, everything good here? And I was like, everything's fine. Because that's how I went through high school. Draw less attention. Everything is fine. These boys, they'll hate me more if I'm and it would come across as telling on them, but really standing up for myself.
Right. Yeah.
So standing up for myself would cause more of a havoc. So I just said I was fine. And we left. And as I'm leaving, I think she said slinkered. She said, come here. And I did. And she's like, everything is okay? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, you let me know. She goes, and she was like, I know those boys toppled your desk over. And she's like, let me know, because I will do my job and I'm here for you. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. No one's ever said that to me before. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
and then
goodness.
I just kind of gravitated towards her for the.
Well, it was really interesting because in the book, the boy that stabbed you thought you would.
Yeah.
He was like, he got caught.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't think he was going to tell anyone.
I know. But I did that to myself.
But that's also blaming the victim.
True.
It's like when your dad was like, your dad was like gaslighting you majorly because you're getting bullied left and right.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you should do something different. And so basically saying it was your fault. And I'm like, Dad.
So kind of with that whole mentality growing up.
Yeah, I could see that.
I constantly I brought everything on myself. Right. Those boys attacked me because of what I did. They toppled my desk over because of what I did. I have no right to ask for help.
How much therapy have you had to get over that?
3.5 years. Still going.
It's still going strong. Because that's the message you received. So you assumed it was your fault. And so you never told.
Well, and you carry that into every relationship.
That's why
I know. And now I'm healed. No, I was kidding.
I'm healed and
I'm perfect.
But
I am. Yeah, I think, and I'm a big advocate for therapy. I used to be, because of how I was raised, you deal with your problems when you go on. Mm-hmm. But now, after being in therapy, everyone needs to be in therapy.
Well, I think it's really important for the queer community.
Oh, for sure.
Because of, like your story of aggressions, not microaggressions.
Yes. No.
But, queer people face minority stress every single day of their life. Every single day. It's just like having that little nerve, like tension before you say, oh, this is my wife. Or something or saying, is this a safe place to say this is my wife?
For sure.
Or, it's just, and as someone who lived with straight privilege for most of my life, I can really tell the difference. So someone like you and because Ben's been out since he was 17.
Been around.
And my wife's been out since she was 18. She was outed when she was 22, but she started the whole process when she was 18.
Yeah.
A lot of times people that have been out forever don't see what I can see.
For sure. I agree. Oh, that
we should talk about that sometime.
Yeah, we should. That's good.
All right. So you're in college.
So I'm at college doing the college thing. And then I also just...
Did you do theater at all?
I did do theater in high school, but I never had the confidence to be on stage in high school. I always ran everything backstage. Yeah. Stage management, loved being in stage management and assistant director, all that kind of stuff. I was vice president of the drama club. I loved theater. I didn't, in the first year when I was a sophomore, because 8th and 9th grade are together, and then you go to the bigger building, and then sophomore, junior, seniors are together. But when I got to the big school, they did Way Out West in a Dress. That was the first musical that they did. And I was like, oh God, I can't do that. I'll be out it again. It'll be so I didn't try out. I didn't do anything because it was about drag. Well, it was about two outlaws that become drag queens to, to escape the law.
And then some like it hot.
It's basically that. Yeah. And so I was like, I can't try out for that. I'll be ruined again.
You love each other, but lately it feels like you're speaking different emotional languages. Strengthening Love is a powerful relationship course created just for lesbian couples. You'll learn how to break painful patterns, communicate with compassion, and feel truly seen again together. Created by LGBTQ+ experts, it's affirming, practical, and designed for real-life connection. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access, and real change. Visit healthylesbianrelationships.com to enroll today. Because your love deserves more than just getting by. It deserves to grow.
So I didn't try out, but I wanted to be a part of the theater. So I continued that into college. I took theater classes, wanted to do that. But my mom and dad was like, that's not a career. You're not going to do that.
Oh, I had a kid that was a theater major. So yeah. I love theater. So
I love it. But now looking back, my mom's like, oh, I could have saw you doing all that, theater and stuff. I'm like, wait a second, time out. Dang it. I should have known.
Question. Yeah. And then we got to get back to Kennedy Ann.
Okay.
Were there a lot of gay people in your theater? I mean, in high school, that's where all the gay kids go.
So this is probably crazy, but there were not a lot of out kids.
Yeah,
I was the one kid that I knew that was severely bullied for being gay, and I was not even out in high school. Now, other kids have come out since out of high school, and they've messaged me and said, thank you for taking all that on, because we couldn't, and we are so sorry, but you helped me become myself. And I was like, oh God, now I can't be mad. I was like, it's okay.
Well, it's interesting because things may have changed, but in high school, there was always that one or two gay boys that had the glass closets.
Yeah.
And occasionally a girl that had a glass closet.
Yeah. Oh, mine was, I think you could actually, I don't even think it was glass. I think it was just holes in the wall. There was a reaching in.
And I find even when my kids were in school, there was always one or two gay kids in their class. And they were always boys.
Yes.
Very effeminate.
Yes.
And it was
now looking back, you can tell.
Yeah.
But they were way better at being in the closet. because I still grew up in that middle America.
Yes.
Where if you really I couldn't help who I was. Like I was just that, walk into a room and
Yes.
that
An
was,
extrovert.
that was me.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to hide me. Now, I was way more quiet in high school. I was not this loud and boisterous. After finding Kennedy Ann in college, I found my voice and I was like, she was my armor for a while.
How did Kennedy Ann all come about? First of all, how did I've got to put the other T on there. And is there an E in your name?
No.
Oh, we'll have
no
to
E.
fix that.
That's
I'll
okay.
fix it
We'll
later.
fix it.
All right.
But how did I come about?
Yeah. How did you name her? How did
Okay.
you? I'm so curious. Kennedy is an interesting drag name.
Yes. So my first drag name was Abena Man. Abenna. Abena.
I get it.
And then man, MANN.
Very clever.
Yes. So I was like, I'll do that one. When I first did it, they needed I was big in the on-campus Catholic church ministries, and they needed for the walk oh my gosh, what is that called? The cancer walk?
Yeah, the Night of 1,000 Lights or something.
Yeah, something like that. So we did like that.
That-
Well, they were doing a male beauty pageant who could raise the most money. So I put on drag and I was like, ooh, this is going to be fun. And so I did it and I shaved my legs. I did it all. I did everything. I was prim and proper. Went around, won because I collected the most money. And then everyone was like, you shaved your legs for this? And I was like, yeah, I thought we were supposed to. No, I just wanted to. So after I won that and raised money for charity, I was like, they had amateur nights at this bar down there called Martha's Vineyard.
Have you been to the real Martha's Vineyard?
Yes, I've been to that real one, but this one was just a gay bar called Martha's Vineyard.
Cool.
I loved it. So I just did
And you were in what city?
Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
Yes. So I did amateur pageants and all that. And I just kind of did my thing. I just tried to do amateur night and it just took off from there. And then after college and all of that, I moved back home for a year.
Everybody.
Why? I don't know.
No, you're saving money.
I still, yes, I was saving money. I got a job back home teaching kindergarten and all of that. And so then just morphed into the next thing. And I was like, I got to get out of here. Then went to Tennessee and just continued.
Why Nashville?
So it was supposed to be a stepping stone because it was a larger city than St. Louis. And I wanted to dip my feet in because I had never lived in a real big city. Springfield was
a medium size.
Yeah, 250,000, 300. Yeah. And then my hometown was very small. So I was like, oh, it's a stepping stone. And then I wanted to go to Chicago, Boston, Seattle, Atlanta. I wanted to go out. But then I just made my life here and I just stayed. And now I'm 15 years in. I'm like, oh.
So tell me about Kennedy Ann. Who is she?
Oh gosh, that's a deep question, but I love it. So who am I? I'm a fun thing, potty mouth for sure. I just think with my take on femininity is I want to be really pretty and I want to accentuate those features of all the women in my life. So all of the women I have had in my life, Kennedy Ann is built upon them. My grandmother's humor. My grandmother was a person who prayed the rosary every day, every morning at 10 a.m., but only certain times. There was one time that we were decorating her house for Christmas because, how did no one know? I went to my grandmother's just to help her decorate for Christmas. Lord. But the angel on top of the tree was not working.
That's called denial.
Okay.
They were in denial.
Noted.
The denial, as we can see from our political climate.
Yeah.
Denial is a powerful human emotion.
We love Delulu.
Yes. Okay. So you go to grandma's house.
And so we're decorating and the Christmas tree angel was not working. And I was like, and this was, I guess I was 10, 11. And my grandmother was like, she pulled the cord. She goes, well, if I had a cord up my ass, I wouldn't work either. And that was the first time I'd ever heard my grandmother cuss. And I was like, there she is.
There's Kennedy Ann.
There she is. But there's my grandmother.
Yeah. Being a real person.
Yeah. And she would always be a real person around me. We would play these little games and then get tickled and, just funny things would happen. So again, she would cuss every once in a while and I'm like, ooh, but she was just very pretty to me and just a good woman. So I wanted to be a good-hearted person, but then watch out because I'll cuss you out.
Can I ask you, when was the first time you got paid for doing drag? And what was that
like? Oh my God. The first time I got paid. Well,
because that's sort of the moment when you
finally, and we're not talking about tips. We're talking about an actual check.
Somebody said, we want you to come and perform here.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Oh my God.
Were you
I'll have to think. It was a bar. I think it was a bar in Springfield, but I think it was only $25.
But
like, still, that was good money
that's
back
good
in the
money,
day.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not that old, but for drag queens, like, I mean, I've had to get dressed out of my trunk in a parking lot where the cars are coming in and just like you just see me in my pads in the middle of a parking lot. So, I mean, there are like drag, has come a long way now of what the girls get and like their baseline and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, even in the last 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask you, was RuPaul on the air when you started drag?
Yes.
Okay.
Season 1.
Oh God! When you watch season 1 of RuPaul,
it's so bad, but it's so good.
It's like a VHS channel.
Yes, but that's real drag because with the Vaseline and like those girls, and they filmed it in RuPaul's garage.
Did they?
That is where the main stage was.
Oh my
That was all
gosh.
filmed in her garage.
Well, it's the production value.
Yes, we got a budget, but it's just like, it's so crazy. Like, but I think it was like only $25. And then I made some tips. You feel like, oh my God, so cool.
Mhm.
You just feel so cool. And when you start out and you have that really like cheap makeup and all that kind of stuff, you think you are God's gift. Every little baby drag queen goes through life and they're like, ooh, this. You look at pictures now compared to like where I was like, woo,
That is rough.
that was a day face and dark lighting.
Well, that's I don't want to talk about RuPaul. I
no,
want to
you're
talk about
fine.
you. Okay, because I'm like,
I feel
that's
like
what
we
you
could talk about it.
I think so. Okay, Kennedy Ann is born. You moved to Nashville.
Yes.
How has she evolved since you've been in Nashville?
Well, I would say I've become more involved in my community. I've become more of an advocate than I ever thought I would be. Because I think growing up, I just wanted to blend in and be normal with everyone else, where now I stand out. Because 1, I'm a drag queen, 2, I'm a gay male, and I'm living in the South. So I stand out, and I'm an educator. And who I am in the classroom is who I am everywhere. Like, I think there is a thing that I do code switch to more of a professional code, but I'm still me in my classroom, and my students get me, which does have parts of Kennedy Ann in it. I don't wear drag to school, but that's the number one question I get.
Well, why would you?
Exactly. But that is the number one question I get from people. People will come up to me and they'll be like, do you teach in drag? No. 2 different things, baby.
And apparently they don't have sex in drag either.
No. This thing would be uncomfortable.
I learned that while reading the book.
But then there are some queens that do.
Okay.
Good for them.
Good for them. But I wouldn't want to do it in the
No,
corset either.
not in the corset. I mean, look how I have to sit up. These things are lifting up to the Lord. Lord.
So you have a lot of passion around education.
Yes, I do. I think
and
I love.
Like I was reading, like, so your 4 chapters are about education, coming out, about all the crap, the drag stuff in Tennessee, and one more.
Coming out twice. Well, and relationships.
And relationships. And in the book, you really are passionate about education. And so this is what I was going to say. It's like, you must feel like you're being shot at all sides with all the legislation.
Oh, yes.
Your heart is a teacher.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about the legislation in Tennessee. Oh my God, Kennedy, how are you doing it? Because like they're dismantling the part. It's like, what?
I do feel, going to that question, I do feel like I'm being attacked from all sides. Education, drag, and then just living my authentic truth. Right? So one thing I have to do, and it is what I do every night, and it is from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. is my time. I put everything down. I either journal, I read something I want to read. I might just get on TikTok and look at all those little funny, cute videos. It's my time to just get away from everything and not doom scroll. And when I mean like I go on TikTok, like I'm watching like stupid.
Yes, stupid. You're not like watching the political stuff.
I'm not watching the political stuff. I'm like doing, that is my recharge time, even though it's late at night. It's my time when I know that it's for me. And I love journaling. I've journaled since I was young. I like look back at some of my journals now and I'm like, I hope he chooses me. And I'm like, he's straight, 4 kids. But like those, I just love writing. I do poetry, which I have tons of poems just written out of just everything that I'm feeling. So I like to journal and do a lot of poetry. That is what I'll do a lot of the time.
So this book came about because of
my editor.
Okay. So because, so if you don't know, Tennessee, talk about talk a little bit about the legislation going on in Tennessee, which started about last legislative session.
Two. Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
Long time.
It's the drag ban, the Tennessee drag ban, which it's worded to confuse people.
Yes.
And which is a lot of laws. And so one thing I went to a lot of meetings with lawyers to like find out what it was really saying, because it's a lot of just mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, and it doesn't even say drag queen.
It doesn't, because
male or female
impersonation.
Yeah.
Which really is going to happen. It's going to happen and hurt the trans community, who it's really targeting. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's also targeting drag performers as well. It had drag in there, but they took out those words because they knew that they could probably push it through, if they took the drag words out. The word salad. But they make it, so one thing people should know about laws is they make it very broad and everything. So what they count on is you censoring yourself. So a lot of laws, they take into account that people are going to read it, mm-hmm. and then they're going to have questions about it. And they're going to say, well, if I do this, does this mean I get arrested? Mm-hmm. Does this mean I pay a fine? And it's a very very hefty. Its first offense is a misdemeanor. Second is a felony. You don't want a felony on your record because you can't vote if you have a felony. Yeah. And just for wearing cute clothes. Yeah, I know. I'm looking pretty. Yeah, like what? But so basically they worded it so that people would censor themselves so they wouldn't have to worry about it. So if you don't know something, you're less likely to do it than just break it on purpose. Then they are, why it's not passing so far is because they know that it's not a big deal. Yeah. That's what. They keep pushing it back. They've now pushed it back to January of 2026. Well, wait a minute. It did pass. Is that a different law? It's a different one. Okay, we'll get to that one. We're getting into the whole grand scheme of things. Like it passed, but it's not. It's the whole thing. Okay. Drag in public spaces with children is the one that passed. Yeah. Okay. But then we had Pride. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So there was a law that passed mm-hmm. that said you can't do drag in public spaces with children, but it got knocked down by a Trump-appointed Republican. Yes, and then they're trying to filter it back through so they've reworded it, they changed it. Yeah. This funny TikTok, Instagram TikTok, where somebody says, do you ever notice that drag queens read to children? They don't read to the elderly. They don't read to so-and-so. Yeah. And they say, yes, because they can read to themselves. For sure. Older people can read to themselves. Like, I mean, I'm not going to put someone to sleep for free. But I also think, kids must find you magical. Have you ever done drag with kids? Oh, yes. I've done a few shows in front of kids. And one, let me tell you, drag queens that want to do shows for children know how to censor themselves. Mm-hmm. I'm an educator. I know how to censor myself around children mm-hmm. and age-appropriate material. Sorry, I've had training in it. I've been a kid myself. I've taken care of children since I was 14 years old. I know how to handle children. I know when I can say something and when I cannot say something. We also have to take into the account that a lot of parents say way worse things in front of their children. Now, granted, it is their children mm-hmm. and they can do that. Again, you have to kind of have a little bit of trust within an educator and other people that they know what they're doing. If they said that children are welcome to the show, take it that they have done their research and they have chosen songs that literally are appropriate. I did C'est La Vie mm-hmm. by Bewitched mm-hmm. when the children came. I did a kids bop number. Mm-hmm. Like you do things that kids can still relate to. Mm-hmm. It's still fun for them. It's still fun for the performer, and everyone walks away having a really great time. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing too, is there are a lot of drag queens out there that do not like children. Point blank. A lot of gay people people do not like children. Which is so funny because they're like, they hate kids. They don't want anything. No. And we don't, a drag queen in a nightclub at 1 a.m. doing a fun, saucy number does not want anything to do with your child who should be at home asleep. Mm-hmm. They don't want anything to do. They want to earn their coin. They want to entertain adults and they want to have a good time. Right. Period. End of it. But knowing that if there are these safe spaces, there are still queer kids. I was a queer kid. Mm-hmm. There are queer children that still need to look up to people. They need to see it. Exactly. My kids need educators who are gay in their life because they are gay as well. Not all of them. some of them, but they need to be able to see
Also,
that, oh,
they
I
have
could be a teacher.
They also have to be, I mean, but beyond the gay kids,
But-
like it has to be like for allies,
For sure.
for people who are going to grow up and have a gay kid.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so important that gay people are like totally in society and
Yeah.
accepted, because it just makes life so much
It
easier
does.
for everybody.
I mean, we raised the economy with our weddings.
I know we did.
Oh my gosh.
I know, but there's nothing like a gay wedding.
Honey, it's fun.
Yes.
I actually married 2 of my friends
Oh, that's
in Mexico.
fun. That's fun.
That was a gay wedding.
I just went to a gay wedding, and it was 2 of my friends. They've been together.
I wore a wedding dress to marry them. And we were walking out, and this lady was like, oh, congratulations. She's like, you're so pretty. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, well, I didn't get married. I married the 2 males over here. And she's like, and I was like, no, I'm a drag queen. And she was like, huh? And I was like, I'm not a woman. My friend Mike was with me. He's like, we're leaving. Pulled me away. And I was like, I think I blew her mind.
I think you did.
Yeah. But I got told so many times, congratulations, because I was a
Were you
bride.
like the Alexis? Because remember, Alexis wore one at Schitt's Creek. Did you ever see Schitt's Creek?
Yes.
She wore
Oh
a
my
wedding
God.
dress. I'm gonna edit this out. We're getting off topic.
Sorry, we're off.
Okay. All right. Okay. Tennessee has a lot of bad drag laws.
Yeah.
Excuse me. A lot of bad laws that are harmful to the
Oh.
queer community. So is that why the book evolved? Like, how did the book come about?
The book
you
came
said
about
something about your
my editor. So my editor, I taught both of her girls. And then they moved away to North Carolina, and that's where Harper One, the publishing company, their branch is. So they moved there. And so she reached out to me a couple years after I'd had her girls, and she was like, Mr. Slinker, do you remember me? And I was like, most definitely do. And she was like, well, I would have this book idea. I want you to be a part of it. It's going to involve 6 drag queens. You're going to tell your stories about life in drag, and I want you to be a part of it. And at first, it was funny. I was like, sure, I can help with that. You need me to edit? What do you need me to do? She goes, no, I want you to write. I'm the editor. That's my job. And I was like, you want me to actually tell my stories? And it took me a minute, and I was like, okay, yeah. So I got to tell my story. And like all my journey as coming out, my relationships that I've had, about just making it through school and life, how I've made it in education, and then how I'm making it now with this drag ban, potential looming, society changing, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other amazing drag queens.
So who are the other drag queens?
Nina West.
She's on RuPaul.
Yes, she was on RuPaul. She's also been in several Broadway
she's
musicals.
A thespian.
She's
She's not a lesbian.
She's a thespian. She's amazing.
She played she played the mom in
Are you talking about Hairspray?
Hairspray.
Yes.
Yeah, she was the mom in Hairspray.
Yeah, she was the mom
on
in
Broadway,
Hairspray.
right?
Yeah, on Broadway.
Yeah,
and then she did a lot of she does a lot of Disney things. Like she sang with Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I know who she is because of RuPaul. I knew a couple of the drag queens on the cover.
Yes.
But Anina's the most famous one to me.
To you. Okay. Yeah. And then Alexis Michelle was also on RuPaul. Olivia Lux was on RuPaul. Yep. And she was just on this All-Star season.
Yep.
Then we have Julie J. She's an amazing performer and a trans activist and all that. And then we have Laguna Blue. She is in Drag the Musical in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. And she was in like Stephanie's Child, which is a music band with like Jan Sport and some of the other girls.
So some of the drag queens are trans, but most of them are not.
Well, in our book one, I know for sure Julie J is trans.
Mm-hmm. But like on RuPaul, they always, now the seasons, there's always 1 or 2 people that are trans within the thing. For people who like don't ever think about this stuff.
Yeah, right.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say anything because I might say something stupid. So can you talk about something about that?
Yeah. So I think, drag.
I get confused.
Drag is a broad spectrum, right? So drag queen is the art of it. It's not necessarily a person. Okay. So I am a drag artist, but at the end of the day, I take my makeup off. I take my hair off. I take all my garments off, and I live my life as a male. Trans women are drag artists. They are, they still put on the lavish makeup, the lavish costumes, but when they take it off, they are still a woman. And so we have this art form that allows for lots of different areas. We have bearded queens. Mm-hmm. We have drag kings, which they don't get enough. They don't get enough opportunity.
They don't get as much attention. There's a drag king show.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I think at Frankie J's.
No. It's
like they're on TV. Yes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yes. There is a drag king show now, which is really fascinating. I like watching that. I love the art of drag.
Yeah. So you're watching it as a professional.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's great. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm watching it as like somebody who's just fascinated by
For
that.
sure.
And, before I started watching, so my second child's non-binary, and they were, and their former partner has transitioned to a woman, and they got me into drag because they were watching RuPaul, and they're like, Mom, you should watch it. You'll like it. And so I did started watching it. And in the beginning, I didn't understand it because it was like I thought it was like making fun of women in the beginning. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then after watching 18 seasons of RuPaul, I see it in a totally different light.
Yes.
And I understand it as an art form.
Yeah.
So as a
woman,
it's
gender blending.
Yeah, and it is gender blending. But as a woman, when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if I like this because I feel like it's almost a caricature of what a woman is.
True. But if you really look at it sometimes, I feel like the character of a woman, drag is also poking fun at the patriarchy who has set all the standards for us.
Correct.
And so it's really like when you are poking fun of the patriarchy altogether, it's giant men portraying statuesque, confident women. Again, like I never want anyone or especially women, to think that I'm poking fun at them whenever I'm really just paying homage to all the great women that were in my life.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to understand that because at first I just was.
And I can see that.
Yeah. I was like, well, I think but now I find it hysterical.
Yes.
And I really enjoy it.
Yes.
Because I just sort of embrace it. Like, it's like going just to a particular kind of theater.
For sure.
Like if you can't think of anything off the top of my head, but say you liked kabuki. You would go to the Japanese kabuki and watch that.
Yes.
So that's how I look at drag now. It's like there's a gay man inside me dying to get out because I love Broadway.
I love that.
I love Broadway.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. And so I look at it as theater.
Yeah.
And entertainment.
It is. Yeah.
And that's all it is.
It's
it
all
has
it is.
really nothing to do about nothing.
Well, and if you look at like how drag was invented was because, women could not be in plays long ago, especially during Shakespeare's time. Mm-hmm. And actually they credit the word drag coming from Shakespeare,
right?
Because it said D-R-A-G next to like when a female character would come in, meaning dressed as girl.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I read that in the book, but I didn't catch that.
But so dressed as girl, and that's drag.
And then there's also a very famous former slave.
Yes.
That really started it.
Who really did like the ballroom scene and all that kind of, yes.
Yeah. And it was funny because Tanda and I watched Harlem is Burning before we watched any drag.
Paris is
Burning, sorry.
Yeah.
And before we watched any drag or anything, and the first time around, I'm like, I don't really get this, And then I started watching drag, and then we went back and watched it.
You had a new meeting.
I had a new experience.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with, what did we watch? The show that was about
Pose. Yes.
Pose.
And then they just did a new documentary on it, on the lovely trans girl from Extravaganza. Her family, the one who got murdered in Paris is Burning, they opened that case up.
Oh,
and try to find who actually did it.
Oh,
so things happen.
Sometimes good things happen.
For sure.
Yeah. So why would somebody read this?
I think someone should read this if you're looking for something to relate to. If you have struggled some point in your life with finding your essence of who you are, these are real people that have found themselves. I'm living proof of it, that it took me a while, but I found myself, and you can hear my story and maybe you can relate to it and maybe it helps you, or maybe you can pass it on to a friend who might need a little extra encouragement. Because the one thing, my message across all of it is, life does get better. You're going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, and you get to see a lot of, I'm very vulnerable in the book. I just kind of let it all out there, and I didn't know how people are going to perceive it, but I wanted my whole goal in life, why I wanted to be a teacher, why I wanted to be a drag queen, why I just want to be me, is because I've always initially just wanted to help people in some capacity. If someone's having a bad day and they come to my show for 2 hours and they laugh and they laugh,
forget about everything.
Yeah. Then I've helped someone just live a little bit. And then all my friends, they can come to Ben anytime. And my door is always open, and I want my friends to know that I'm always there for them. I will sacrifice all kinds of things to help as many people as I can, if I can.
And teaching,
I wanted wanted to be that teacher that Miss Pope was for me. And I really just wanted kids to know that you're going to go through a lot of things, but I made it. And if I can make it, you can too.
I think there's a lot of hope and also a little bit of irony that you ended up working in a school after.
Yeah, they say that all that. I know. And what I found is I was more comfortable in that despair and I was more comfortable in hurting than I was being okay. Because in the hurting, I knew what to expect. And I knew going back into school and being a teacher, I knew what that world looked like. And I had lived in that world. And I didn't want anyone else to go through what I went through. But at the same time, I was comfortable in that hurt space. Now, through therapy and everything, I've realized that the school has morphed into more of a space where overall, the one thing that I controlled the whole time growing up with being bullied in school was what I could learn and how much information I took in.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It was, it's dysfunctional, but it was your dysfunction and you were comfortable in it.
Yes.
But what is really amazing then is that you took it and made it a place where you succeeded beyond measure. I mean, not too many people are teacher of the year.
True.
No, they really are.
Yeah.
And you're in a big school system too.
Yeah.
You're not in one school system or something like one school system. That's a really amazing achievement. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Until I read it out loud. I was like, "Ooh,
teacher of the year."
Now, because you're a third grade teacher, right?
No, I was. So when I got this award, I was a GATE, gifted and talented education. So I taught grades kindergarten through fourth grade, where they would come to me and I would give them enrichment. I would give them.
That must be fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
They have really high IQs.
My oldest daughter was in the gifted and talented.
Yeah. It's so fun. And so they would come to me for a couple hours a day and week. And then we would learn a little extra on top of what their schooling was. I helped make things more rigorous, all that. Now I work at middle school.
Okay.
I went to middle school now.
How do you like that?
I love it. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. They can be assholes.
Yes, they can.
But they are trying to figure themselves out. And we were all there at one time.
Yes.
So we all know. Yes.
Like when I ask people about their lives,
awkward.
When I ask people about their lives, and one of my first sessions with somebody, I said, "Tell me your life story," and they tell everybody. Middle school's like the hell.
It's true. I think
it's like the rite of passage in the United States.
It is. Middle school is crazy, but at the same time, there's something beautiful about it because you're in that in between where you're trying to figure out life and what it is, but then at the same time, you are still that little kid who still loves certain things, like I don't know, like a TV show that might not be cool, but you still love it. You're still trying to figure out your way. And then they say stuff all the time that's so funny. They were like two girls were walking in the hall and this other girl leaned in and she goes, "They're friends with benefits." And I go, "What?" And I'm like, "Okay, don't show it on your face." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And she's like, "Oh, they hold hands and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay. So friends with benefits, they hold hands." Sure. So they're still kind of clueless on things.
Have you seen the guys on TikTok? It's a white teacher in a black school and a black teacher in a white school. And they sit in the car and tell all the stupid
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay,
guys.
Yes. I had to think for a second, but yes. But the stories that I have, I write them all down all the time because it's just a fun little journey to go through this whole adolescent stage again and see how it was when I was their age. And now that I'm older, see what it's like, where some things have definitely changed because of social media and
there's a lot.
They mature a lot quicker than what we did.
Yeah. They're having sex a lot younger than what we did.
For sure.
Yeah.
But then again, we come back and they're friends with benefits and it's holding hands.
Yeah.
So you have on a whole rate. It's just funny. And just so you know, I got called by the students this year, most iconic teacher.
Yes.
I could die happy now. I'm dead.
They like me.
I'm really just teaching middle school to get what I didn't get then. I'm like,
so
yes.
My last three questions I ask somebody is, did you have a coming out song?
So I don't know if I was racking my brain, did I have a coming out song and what it would have been? And I just think it was, I just loved listening to all the pop princesses. And I think mine was just being that pop diva as I came out. I love music.
Because also Kennedy Ann was born the same time you came out.
Yeah,
About
she really was.
Yeah, just around the same time.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense that, as you're trying to develop the character of Kennedy Ann, you're like looking at all
Yeah.
these pop princesses.
For sure.
So
And I was just
how
like,
can I be like her?
yeah. I mean, that's why I'm like wearing a giant cupcake today,
A book or movie that really
Steel Magnolias all day. Steel Magnolias, I watched for the first time at 5 years old with my grandmother, and it became my favorite movie. Is every human emotion in 2 hours.
Like Steel Magnolias gets a lot of shit because they don't sound very Southern.
True, they don't, but
it is a great movie.
It is a great movie, and
it is heartbreaking.
It is.
It's funny,
and I think I did it because of the amount of trauma. She had a sickness where I kind of growing up saw my gayness as a sickness for a while, just in myself, and that she couldn't really change it about herself, but it was always looming over her, and people were always around her. Like her mom was like, "You got to be careful, you got to do this, you got to do this, this is stressful, this is." And my life was kind of stressful because I was trying to do a balancing act where I didn't want to be different from the other kids, but then I love doing this. And, I really wanted to be myself where she really wanted to have a baby. And then I wanted to be myself so bad. I was willing to sacrifice everything to be that. And so I think there's just like a whole journey that I go on with that movie. And the closeness, again, like all of those women represent someone in my life that was there for me at a time of need. And just that camaraderie of the feminine and how I am a feminine gay male. And I really relate to females based on their femininity so much. But then, it's just the whole life journey that they take together.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it really is.
I really like that movie.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, you should. It's a good movie. It's old now.
1988 came out the year I was born.
Do you realize that's like 35 years old? Isn't that or something like that?
Well, 37. I'm 37.
Crazy? Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. I don't feel 37.
I can't believe when they say 1990s was 30 years ago. What?
Yeah. Someone said we're closer.
I know.
Closer to 2050 than we are to those. Like yes, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Oh gosh,
I'll be dead by then. Okay, my last question is: how do you describe your life today?
Ooh, how do I describe my life today? Let me think. That's a good question. I want to say it's busy, it's chaotic, but it's filled with love.
How wonderful.
Yes.
Do you think you created a lot of that?
I think I did because I'm a strong believer in that what you want out of this world, you have to kind of give it to the world to get it back. And I try to give as much love and happiness and excitement, and I want people to feel good. Now, that does not mean that every once in a while I slip up.
Of course.
I'm going to have a moment. Overall, just want to I try to give as much love to the world and hope that it comes back. And if it doesn't, it's okay. But I get my love from knowing that I helped someone else feel loved.
So how can people reach out to you if they want to talk to you?
Yeah.
Or they want to just connect with you, or they're like a 16-year-old boy who wants to get into drag?
For sure. Instagram, Miss MS Kennedy, like the president, Ann Scott. And so that is my Instagram. You can reach there, or I'm on Facebook, Kennedy Ann Scott. You can find me there, or you can reach out to slinker22 at outlook.com.
Outlook. I thought you said AOL for a minute. I was going to give you a hard time.
Outlook. But yeah, I'm everywhere. So
the book is No Tea, No Shade?
Life as a Drag Queen.
Okay. And when is it coming out?
It's officially going to hit the shelves September 3rd of this year, 2025. But you can pre-order it now wherever books are sold. This book has never been done before. It has not ever been done with drag queens and a collection of essays. So each drag queen wrote 5 essays based on their life. It has some pictures of us in the book. It's just really a great project.
Well, and I think it's really important to read if you just want to sort of get the peek behind the scenes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And sort of understand what drives somebody to do drag.
That's right, yeah.
And like most gay people, they've had a lot of hard stuff.
That's true. And it's all about education.
Yeah.
So the best way that you can help anyone is by educating yourself on it. And these are firsthand accounts on lives so you can educate yourself, so you can be a better ally. You can
Better
create,
parent.
better parent, create safe spaces for people who really need it. And right now, the people who really need it are trans brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
Kennedy
Ann Scott. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Oh, it was so wonderful. We had
So
such a good
good.
time.
You've been listening to Coming Out and Beyond, LGBTQIA+ stories with Anne-Marie Zanzal. New episodes of the Coming Out and Beyond podcast drop every other Friday. You can tune in at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and at annemariezanzal.com. Be sure to hit subscribe when tuning in so you never miss an episode. And for more resources, articles, videos, and a free downloadable guide for coming out later in life, visit annemariezanzal.com.